Okay, so here's the obvious question that probably just popped up in your head. I mean, if order books are so freaking great and everyone in traditional finance uses them and they are clearly superior for actual trading, why didn't DeFi just use order books from the start? Right? I mean, why did they even bother with AMMs? I mean, it's basically the same answer as before, front running, and it's absolutely brutal on blockchains, as I've said before. You see, the thing is, I mean, front running basically destroys the whole concept of order books, right? Which is why early DEXs, I mean, decentralized exchanges, looked at this problem and mostly gave up. I mean, they went with AMMs instead because at least AMMs offered some protection through their mathematical formulas. Even if they introduced slippage, it was a compromise and honestly not a great one, but it was better than getting front run into oblivion, right? So this is where Injective did something legitimately clever. I genuinely say, I say this with sincerity because they looked at the whole situation and Injective looked at this whole situation and went, okay, so order books are clearly superior for actual trading, like objectively better in almost every way. And front running is literally the only problem preventing people from using them on blockchains, right? So what if we just eliminate front running? I mean, and then they basically figured out how to do it. I mean, it's so simple, but it's so brilliant at the same time. But first, before we talk about all these things, let's just let's just try and understand what they actually build. It's called the Central Limit Order Book, or CLOB, or I'll just call it CLOB. And it's basically the fancy industry term for what we have been calling order books this whole time. It's basically the standard architecture that virtually every major exchange in traditional finance use, like stock exchange, commodity markets, forex platforms, you name it. The central part just means that all the orders are collected in one place instead of being scattered across different venues, right? And the limit order part refers to orders where you specify a price limit, like, buy one BTC at 41K or better, right? As opposed to market orders where you just yell, give me whatever is available right now, right? So here's how a traditional club works in real world. Like, it collects all the buy orders, which are basically the bids, and the sell orders, which are basically the offers, and organizes them neatly by different price levels, right? The biggest bid and the lowest ask create what's called the spread or the current market price. So orders get matched continuously in real time on a price time priority basis, meaning the best price gets filled first. And if multiple orders are at the same price, whoever submitted their orders first gets the priority. First come, first served, right? So it's like a really fast, really efficient line at the DMV, right? Except the line actually moves and nobody has an existential crisis by doing so. So this whole continuous matching is great for speed and efficiency. I mean, orders are executed in microseconds. High frequency trading firms loves this. I mean, market feels alive and super responsive. But here's the problem: when you try to port this exact model to blockchain, the whole continuous real time first come first serve thing, that's basically a front runner's paradise. On a blockchain, transactions don't actually execute instantly, which we already talked about. They sit in a mempool and stuff, and bots can see your orders coming and pay higher fees to jump ahead of you and execute their trade before yours goes through. Right? They can literally see what you are about to do and front run before your transaction even make it to on chain. Right? So all this is absolutely brutal. So Injective looked at this and said, what if we keep the order book structure because it's genuinely superior, but completely change how orders gets matched? I mean, instead of continuous matching where orders execute in real time as they arrive, what if we batch everything together and process it all at once? So their solution is called the frequent batch auction model, or the FBA, if you like, snappy short forms. And honestly, once you understand it, it's kind of brilliant in its simplicity. I mean, here's a key thing: like, instead of matching orders continuously like a traditional club, Injective collects all orders that arrive during a discrete time window, typically typically like one block, and then matches them all simultaneously at one uniform clearing price. Everything happens in batches at the end of each block, hence the name. So on Injective, these batches auction, these batch auctions execute approximately around every 0.65 seconds, right? Which is pretty fast. You're not waiting around for minutes, just blink and your batch processes. So let me break down what makes this fundamentally different, because different from the traditional stuff, because this is an entirely different ball game, right? So in a traditional, central limit order book, which is used on Wall Street or Binance or wherever, orders gets matched continuously as they arrive. First come, first serve, priority rules, everything, right? Each trade can potentially get a different execution price depending on when it hits the order book. It's lightning fast and feels incredibly responsive, but on a blockchain, that speed that speed actually becomes a vulnerability. Orders are visible in real time, sitting there in mempools like sitting ducks, just begging to be front run. But on Injective's CLOB, with the whole batch auction thing, it just changes everything, because orders are collected over a time interval which is like one block or like 0.65 seconds. All orders in the batch gets matched simultaneously at the end, and everybody gets their fair clearing price. There is no first in line advantage anymore, which means front running becomes literally impossible. There is no front running because there is no line to front run, right? Orders remain sealed until the batch processes. They are hidden. Nobody can see what you submitted until it's too late to do anything about it. So the FBA model actually introduces three critical features that makes this whole thing work, and each one is essential to the whole thing functioning. The first, there are discrete time intervals for accepting orders. Each block is one auction, and at the end of the block, everything processes at the same time. Second, there is a uniform clearing price for all the matched orders in that batch, not different prices for different people. One price, fair and square. And third, and this is the most crucial, there is a sealed bid mechanism where orders remain unpublished until the auction interval ends. Your order is hidden in something sort of like a sealed envelope until the batch processes. That sealed bid thing is what really kills the front running bots or whoever is trying to do the front running, right? In a traditional club, your orders become visible the moment you submit it. Everyone can see it sitting in the order book. On a blockchain, that means bots can come in and do their thing. But with Injective's batch auctions, your order is sealed and hidden until the entire batch processes, right? So by the time anyone sees what you've submitted, it's too late. It's basically too late to front run, right? It's like submitting a sealed envelope to an auction house instead of shouting your bid out loud where everybody can hear, right? So let me give you a bit more mathematical or concrete example, because I think this stuff makes much more sense with actual numbers, right? So picture this batch of orders all arriving during the same time window. Like Alice says, buy one ETH at 2.5k. Bob says, buy one ETH at 2.4k. Charlie says, buy one ETH at 2.6k. And Diana says, sell one ETH for like 2.5k or whatever, right? And somebody else like Mary comes along and says sell one ETH for 2.6k. So on a normal traditional club, which is operating in continuous mode, these would get matched one by one as they arrive in the order book queue, right? Alice and Charlie might match first at one price, then Bob and Diana would match at a different price. But plus, bots could potentially see these orders coming in the mempool, and they will try to squeeze in between with higher fees. It would be a mess, right? So orders, like orders executing at different prices, bots jumping in, chaos. That's the summary, right? But with Injective's batch option, something completely different happens. The system looks at all of these orders together as a group at the end of the block. It's like and the algorithm basically calculates one single fair clearing price for the entire batch based on where the supply meets the demand. Let's say the clearing price works out to, I don't know, $2525, right? $2,525 based on the full picture of buy and sell pressure, then everyone who can match at that price trades at that exact same price all at once simultaneously. So in this example, Alice buys orders at 2.5k. Like Alice's buy order at 2.5k doesn't match because she wasn't willing to pay 2,525. Charlie's sell order at 2.6k doesn't match because he wanted more. But if Diana had said sell at 2.5k instead of 2,550, then Alice and Diana would both trade at whatever fair clearing price the batch auction calculated. Maybe 2.5k, maybe 2,510. Depends on all the other orders in the batch. The point is, no queue, no first in line, no I got here before you, so I get priority. Just one fair price for everyone in the batch. So front running boards are sitting there like, but I need to be ahead of someone to make money. Except there is no ahead anymore. It's a batch. Everyone's simultaneous. There is no jumping. There is no jumping in the queue. The whole concept of front running just stops working. It's like trying to cut in a line where there is no line. Just a circle of people being served at the exact same moment. And here's the massive advantage that doesn't get talked enough. Like market makers get ample time to cancel stale orders before high frequency traders can execute against them. In a traditional continuous CLOB or central limit order book, if the market suddenly moves and your limit order is low, your limit order is now mispriced, you have got maybe milliseconds to cancel it before some bots picks you off, blink and you're done. But with batch auctions happening every 0.65 seconds, you actually have a fighting chance to update or cancel your orders when market conditions shift. The professionals providing liquidity actually gets a fair shake instead of getting destroyed by bots with microsecond advantages. So Injective basically said, let's take the best part of order books that Wall Street's been using for centuries and add some anti-friend running magic sauce with the batch auction. And what we ended up with is honestly kind of remarkable when you think about the engineering that actually went into it. I mean, first of all, there is no slippage. Like there is zero slippage. Your order executes at a fair clearing price that's calculated for the entire batch, not progressively worse price as you eat through the order book. You're not getting punished for trading size. You're getting the same fair treatment whether you're buying 1 ETH or 100 ETH. Professional traders can actually execute large orders without getting destroyed, which is kind of a big deal. I mean, remember how AMMs would punish you more and more with each unit you bought? Yeah, I mean, that part is gone. The clearing price is the clearing price, period. Right? So the second and the most obvious one is there is no front running. Bots literally cannot jump ahead of you because there is no ahead. Everyone in the batch is equal. It doesn't matter if you paid higher gas fee or if your transaction arrived first, everyone gets the same price. The playing field is actually level for once. After years of watching bots extract value from every single transaction, this feels almost too good to be true. But it's real and it works. And the third thing is you get real price discovery, like actual humans setting actual prices on what they think things are worth, not just some mathematical formula spitting it out. Right? Order books show you exactly what buyers are willing to pay and what sellers are asking at every price level. You can see market depth. You can see where support and resistance might be forming. You can gauge sentiment by looking at the order distribution. It's transparent in a way that actually matters for making more informed trading decisions. And fourth, it's still professional grade infrastructure that institutions can actually use. Market makers and serious trading firms can actually participate without getting destroyed by MEV bots. By processing transactions in discrete intervals with sealed bids and uniform clearing prices, the system prevents maximum extractable value strategies that has plagued DeFi since day one. This means actual liquidity providers who wants to make markets, who wants to make, markets can do so profitably, which means better liquidity for everybody. It's a virtuous cycle, instead of a death spiral of AMMs where liquidity providers constantly get wrecked. And fifth, which is like the most important, it's still fully decentralized. Everything happens on chain. There is no trusted intermediary, no company holding your fund, no FTX style shenanigans possible. You get all the benefits of DeFi, self custody, transparency, permissionless access, no CEO who might be secretly gambling with your customer deposits, combined with the trading experience of a centralized exchange. It's like the best of both worlds without the compromise that plagued earlier DEX design. Now, in order to drive this point through, here's a stat that really tells you the story, right? Despite, I think, maintaining only about 30 to 70 million in total value locked, which is tiny compared to some big AMMs, Injective has facilitated over 55 billion in trading volume across spot and derivative markets. Most days they are doing over 100 million in trading volumes. That's absolutely insane capital efficiency. I mean, AMMs actually need billions locked up to facilitate that kind of volume. But Injective does it with a fraction of TVL because order books are just fundamentally more capital efficient. You're not locking up huge pools of idle capital sitting there waiting to, maybe trade against. You're matching orders directly, instantly, efficiently, and in a much more neater fashion. All right. So enough theory. Let's try and understand how you can actually trade on Injective's central limit order book. So when you open the whole trading thing, you will see that you will see a few order types. Like you get to choose from a few different order types. Now there are the regular ones like the buy and sell, which are pretty straightforward. You can either buy at the current market price or set your own limit price if you want to wait for a better deal. Easy. Now there are also this cool options called a post only order, which is labeled as buy underscore PO, which stands for post only, or sell underscore PO, right? These are special because your orders will only be added to the order book. It won't be instantly, it won't instantly match with someone else's, right? That means you are acting as what they call a market maker. I mean, not just jumping in to take someone else's trade. So the upside to such, post only orders is that you get lower fees because you are helping keep the market liquid, and exchanges love liquidity, so they reward it. That's also where the maker and the taker fees comes in. Makers add orders to the book and gets charged less. Takers remove orders right away and pay a bit more. It's a simple system that keep things fair and balanced. Now let's make it real. I mean, to understand this whole thing, let's try and actually do actual numbers example, right? Imagine Bitcoin sitting at like 42K, right? 42K dollars. You think it would dip at a bit before heading up again. So instead of buying right away, you place a limit order to buy one Bitcoin at, I don't know, 41.5K, right? That order now sits quietly in Injective's central limit order book, waiting for the price to reach it. Somewhere else, another trader thinks Bitcoin's about to drop and decides to sell one Bitcoin at 41.5K. Then the next batch auction happens, and these like these run like every 6.5 zero 0.65 seconds, right? Injective matches your order at a fair price, and boom, you both get what you want. No bot snipping your order, no slippage, no front running, just a clean and fair trade. And that's the kind of magic here. It's not flashy or dramatic, it just works. You want to buy, someone else wants to sell, and it happens at a fair price. Now, that's how trading should actually feel like, right? Now, if you want to step things up a bit, Injective shine really starts to shine there. Like, I mean, for example, let's say you want to buy more Bitcoin, but at a different price as it drops. You can set a few limit orders, maybe one at 41.5K, one at 41K, one at 40.5K, and just let them sit there. As the market moves, those orders will automatically fill. No constant refreshing, no stress, and that's how professionals trade. They set their plan and let the market come to them. So you can also use those post-only orders to always be a maker, which means you actually earn from fees instead of paying them, right? And if the market suddenly changes direction or something feels off, you can cancel your orders before the next batch auction. You're never locked in. I mean, the thing is with these kind of stuff around, you got full control, or you are always in control. I mean, the order book itself gives you a ton of insights too. You can literally see the market's mood. Big buy walls around 40K, that's a strong support zone. Heavy sell walls around 45K, that's a resistance. Even the ratio of buyers to sellers tells you if the market's leaning bullish or bearish. And because injectives, batch auctions remove front running and MEVs, you can actually try trading strategies that usually get wrecked on other dexes, like things like arbitrage or market making or reversions. They all become possible because everyone gets a fair shot. And at the end of the day, Injective basically took the best part of the traditional trading system, fixed work, didn't work on blockchain, and made it fully decentralized so that it feels professional, fast, and most importantly, fair. No gimmicks, just proper trading done right. Right. So I guess that's about it for the theory part. Now, I guess we can just go ahead and see how all this works on code. So, yeah, let's jump right into the coding part. Let's go.